ladies and gentlemen and dear delegates, as we all know, COVID-19 pandemic has turned the world upside down. So it has reshaped the way we live and the way we do businesses, and the events industry has been affected as well. So we saw a lot of concerns when it comes to safety, a rise in virtual and hybrid events, and more use of technology to help people stay connected and engaged. But what does the future hold, and what are the trends to watch out for in the coming years? So joining us today, our esteemed speakers and experts, industry leaders and organization leaders who can give us first-hand knowledge and experience on the MICE sector, and also the main actors as well. So I am very pleased to introduce you our guests. Once more, Mr. Sarab Tuteya, General Secretary at Enterprising Travel Agents Association, and Mr. Ruslan Guliev, President of the Azerbaijan Health and Thermal Tourism Support Association, and Mr. Hussein Kurt, President at International Association of MICE Industry, I.M.I.C.E, and Mr. Aydın Karacabay, Council Member at Istanbul Chamber of Commerce. Dear speakers, once more, thank you for joining us today. So let me begin with asking the first question. Just as we know that the changes sometimes in the industry happened in the structural way, and also some of the changes were permanent, some of them were temporary, and some of them are still in progress. So here, let's start with Mr. Aydın. What about the hoteling sector, and what are the main challenges, and what is the new face of the sector in this phase, do you think?
Yeah, thank you. Well, actually, the feature of MICE organization, obviously, extremely important. But today, I would like to share my feeling in terms of hoteliers industry, because I am the member of hoteliers industry, and also I am the assembly member in Istanbul Chamber of Commerce. Well, actually, obviously, we are a part of tourism industry, and the MICE is very, very important for hoteliers industry in terms of city hotels, especially that where I am also involving city hotels, that we are getting a lot of guests from the MICE industry in terms of meetings, congress, all kinds of MICE organization. That's very important part of our business in terms of hoteliers and also city hoteliers. Well, actually, obviously, in terms of Istanbul, that we were very good on MICE sector and 2015 and onwards. And we get some troubles, safety problems and terrorism attacks in Istanbul, and obviously from 2016 we start to struggle in terms of not only in MICE sector but also all tourism activities. In that times that all the hoteliers and also MICE professionals that we were talking about, that we've seen the deep down of the sector. I think that is the worst crisis that we are having, because at that time Atatürk International Airport has a kind of terrorist attack, and many people killed, and also those nightclub Reina attack and all. And it was really deep down, and it was really worst time of the hoteliers and the tourism industry time. But we see now that was not the worst time. We were witness it in that time, actually. Now we really seen the deep because of the pandemic. Actually, we were wrong. That was really not the bad time of the tourism. Now, I think this must be the worst with pandemic COVID-19. Now, well, first I would like to really thank Travelshop, who is organizing this magnificent organization that is a very good sample that people can organize something even in COVID times. This organization is really give us a lot of support that yes, we can do some tourism activity, some MICE organization, even though there is a pandemic ongoing.
Yeah, as we do here now.
Obviously, that is really a kind of a big support for our industry. Also, thank you for organizing this in Istanbul. And this is really a good sample, the best sample that people witnessing in pandemic times.
Okay.
Well, on the other hand, obviously, pandemic adversely affecting our industry. I think the MICE is the worst affected, one of the worst affected, because in the MICE sector, people physically get together and share their ideas and or networking, is the networking. Well, actually, technology came to the picture and do some hybrid or internet activities, and many companies get very, very profitable in terms of Zoom and etc. Now, obviously, this will adversely affect the future of the MICE sector because people are not, at least for a couple of years, yeah, even though we finished the pandemic and if the health authorities says this pandemic is over, because this will affect a couple of more years.
So you
that the
make
people,
them more years.
yeah, obviously, people will get together and share their networking in terms of money. On the other hand, the cultural tourism for the city hotels will continue a bit because no one show you the cultural tour on the internet. Yes, it's possible, but it's not. I wouldn't take
three-dimensional
that.
virtual tours,
yeah,
etc.
I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't prefer that. Oh, well, obviously, I am in the sector. I am a part of in my sector in terms of hoteliers, but in the future of the sector, that I have no right to talk too much about that.
Okay.
That our experts, friends, will continue.
So thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for your
Thank you.
comments.
Pleasure.
So I can throw a question to Mr. Hüseyin Kurd in this dance. So being the president of I.M.I.C.E, I think he's got valuable experiences to share with us. So the first question is, what is your overall impressions in this pandemic era organization that we are still having our experiences? And what do you foresee in the future about the MICE sector? And how can you just evaluate the challenges we experience? Do you think everything will be same again?
Lots of questions, all good. Thank you. Esteemed moderator and precious speakers and dear friends, first of all, I welcome you with my respect. And I want to start with thanks to Mr. Murtaza Kalender and his team who realized this organization. It is possible to arrange these kinds of events and organization with precautions as we declared at every opportunity. Today, seeing these details once more make me appreciate Mr. Murtaza Kalender once again. It's a good job, and thank you very much. As everybody knows, our world is affected by coronavirus pandemic since the date March 2020. And by the declaration of pandemic, cities, countries, and borders and airspaces were closed by World Health Organization. As you know, masks and social distances are so unusual for people, but we get used to using masks and staying far away from each other. This virus changed our life a bit. For example, I know most of the attendants, and normally when we get together, we shake hands and hug each other. In today's world, we can't do this. We couldn't do this. What a pity that. It seems to continue for a long time. Not only our health and social lives, and also our economy, of course, and also world economy is affected by coronavirus. This is not a crisis seen before. Of course, as you know, tourism is the first sector which is affected mostly. Unfortunately, M.I.C.E is the last sector which will get, well, the latest. Does pandemic finish our sector? We are here, so it doesn't finish. M.I.C.E will be forever. If we return back to our question, the answer will be clear. Let's talk about it. During this period, I have been in several panels and seminars, and each panel or seminar, there was always the same questions. Nothing will be as well as before pandemic. This is question or topic. Question or topic were the same. Of course, my answers were the same. Is it possible? No, it is impossible. Because, firstly, human beings are social creatures. People want to touch. People want to feel. And people want to be touched. People want to live. It is not possible with technology. And secondly, human beings forget easily. It's going. For this, thanks God. Well, will everything be the same? Of course not. I will say the last to say first. Yes, something will change. Pandemic taught us something. Health is the most important in our lives. This period reminded us the importance of our families, relatives, and of course the nature we had forgotten. We started to use some of the technologies which we will be using in 5 years' time. I would like to give you some real samples which you know in fact. A congress is not only a congress. Scientifically discussed, cases are discussed, colleagues, our customer and our new customers get together, new meetings and connections start. There is a lobby, there is a network in these organizations. And also sometimes you can try new products in the foyer area. In these organizations, there are city tours, gala dinners, activities, and socializing. There is not only scientificity in these organizations. Human beings need to feel and live this case. This is not only with just and only technology. Well, then, how will be the congresses, events, meetings, and organizations? They will be hybrid. Okay. You know, we used this format before. Probably online attendance will be more, but we have to get together, also I didn't say, face to face. I can say something for incentive organizations. For example, we have trip for our customer, for our branches. I'm asking to you, can it be online? No, it is impossible. Incentive based on motivation. Let's have a look at this period, how we started and how it is going. The first days of pandemic were shocked. We thought that this period will have an end by summer. Then we realized that it is not so. It's going on, seems to continue. That's why the activities on online platforms started. And by the time these activities headed into green box technology. Of course, for now, these activities are happening less often. To tell the truth, it is impossible for online organizations to replace physical organizations. I can say my final words about this organization. Thank you very much again to Mr. Murtaza Kalender and his team for good organization and for this organization. Thank you very much again, Mr. Murtaza Kalender. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. So all in all, when we look at the process, we see that, as you mentioned, human is human, and they never change. So we need to touch, we need to live, we need to feel and experience things. I think this seems to be a hot discussion because some people think that the advanced technology and our online experiences and the virtual events also opened new windows for all of us. In this sense, I would like to throw my question to Mr. Sarab Turiyeva, General Secretary of ETAA. So maybe as the General Secretary of Travel Association, maybe you can just share your experiences, your organizational or individual experiences about these events. So what do you think? Virtual experiences and online experiences are maybe they can be the wow window for everyone, or just we need them for this period? What do you think?
Thank you, Ms. Moderator, and thank you, organizers, for arranging such a fantastic event, which is actually an example that MICE is coming back and will be back. First thing. Second thing, we all know this pandemic will stay for some time. We have to start living with this new normal. And in fact, we have started living and we have started realizing what to do and how to behave to protect ourselves. And we all know that vaccinating the entire population, or maybe the big population of the world, will not take few months, it will take few years. Now, I personally believe even if the regulatories give a green signal to the venues like this or the exhibition centers or destinations to go ahead with the events, still we largely depend on the consumers, the stakeholders, the businesses to have that level of confidence that they are safe at that particular destination and venue. I personally believe right now we can see there are three kinds of events happening. One thing is virtual. Of course, we see a lot of virtual events happening. But I think the shelf life of virtual events was pretty less. We all get a few links in our WhatsApp messages every day with some presentation happening in some part of the world or some hotel giving a show round. How many of us actually watch those presentations, or how many events are we attending every day? I think the shelf life is going very low for that events. The second kind of events that I foresee is the hybrid events. So I won't be surprised that I get invited to an event only when I'm vaccinated. So there is an event happening where it is said, okay, you're vaccinated, you can come and attend the event, and others can have the privilege of watching the same event sitting in their living rooms. So that's what we call the hybrid events are all about. And there is another very interesting third kind of events, which I foresee will happen in the future, in the current times. I believe we will find a lot of small regional events happening across the globe in different parts of the city. And all these small events can be connected to each other by using the online technology and making it as a one big forum. So people get to travel maybe 100 miles, 200 miles, see people in person, see each other, and they become a part of a big global forum or a big global event happening. I believe that's going to happen soon for sure. Then I also see when I look at MICE organizations or the event venues like this, or organizations like each one of us, I personally believe I see a revolution in technology happening. So, tailor-made solutions for integration of digitization technology by venues will be a key catalyst. For example, somebody comes and talks to a venue, one person says, I have everything ready-made available. You want to do it after 10 days? Tuck, tuck, tuck, tuck, tuck, you just tick mark, and digitization, virtual event, all kind of technology that is needed, I have that. So those venues and those organizations will surely be the winner. I personally believe that. Another interesting thing I would love to say here is, do we come to these events to just see the presentations? My personal answer is no. We come to make friends from the industry, we come to network, we come to find partners, we come to break the monotonous routines we have at our offices. It's a big, I believe it's a big stress buster. Traveling to an event like this, meeting people, finding partners, doing networking, it becomes a stress buster for a person like me. Another very important fact is, whenever anything happens in the world, the first industry to be affected is travel, tourism, and MICE. Let it be a bomb blast happening in one airport, maybe the people stop coming to the entire country. Maybe there is 26/11 happening, the entire world cancels their tickets. So we have seen the worst of the times. And the best part about the MICE industry is we are a very resilient industry. We have always bounced back, and we'll again bounce back, and this time we'll bounce back even stronger. This is an example. We all are sitting safely in this room, taking precautions. We can see the social distancing happening with chairs not close to each other. Most of us are wearing masks. So we have learned how to live with it. And this resilient industry will definitely bounce back for better opportunities for MICE events in the future. That's what I believe.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. So, although in-person interaction remains powerful, we also experience that the virtual events and hybrid events and some other technological supports are still in progress, and time to time we need them to use as a catalyst or to overcome some challenges during our organizations. So now I would like to turn my direction to the destinations that we organize some kinds of events. So destinations also are experiencing some challenges in adapting themselves this new format. So I would like to ask my question to Mr. Ruslan Guliev, the president at AHTTSA. So as a destination, Azerbaijan, how is it trying to overcome these destinational challenges during the pandemic period? And have you got any good examples to share with us? What are your experiences?
Teşekkür ederim. Öncelikle ben sayın moderatörümüzü ve meslektaşlarımı selamlıyorum. Murtaza Bey'e de fırsattan yararlanarak bu güzel bir ortamı yarattığı için, en azından bir fikirlerimizi ifade etmek için. Doğru buyurursunuz. Destinasyonların tecrübesi total olarak dünya pazarında olan ister M.I.C.E segment, ister diğer segment temsilcileri için çok önemlidir. Ve kıyasladığımız zaman mesela Azerbaycan bazı ülkelerden yani farklandıran cihetler neydi? Bunu biz öncelikle göz önüne aldık. Ve bildiğiniz gibi dünya turizm ekonomisinde M.I.C.E segmentin çok büyük bir pay vardır. Ve bu post sanayi devrinde ve aynı zamanda dijitallaşan ekonomiye geçit zamanında 4. demek sanayi devrinde çok önemli bir meseledir. Ve pandemiye kadar olan bir devirde elbette ki M.I.C.E her bir ülke için çok büyük bir artışla bir önem taşıyordu. Olabilir terminoloji olarak biz 20. əsrdə bunun ismini başka kullanıyorduk. Ancak eminlikle söyleyebilirik ki M.I.C.E turizm deməli alanında bir trenddir. Yani 21. əsrin bir trendidir. Ve tabii M.I.C.E biz genelde kongrelerin veya fuarların yapılması gibi düşünüyoruz. M.I.C.E diğer turizm tiplerinden farklandıran önemli cəhət iş 365 güne paylanan bir turizmdir ve ziyaretçi sayısı bakımından da burada daha çok ülke daha çok karlı çıkabilir. Yani bu ekonomi ve bütçe bakımından. Yani biz bunu sağlık turizminde de diyoruz ki tedaviye gelen 365 gün geliyor ve geceleme sayısı orada tedaviye göre 14-28 gün olur. Turizmin yarattığı bazı kıyaslayıcı öneriler var ki mesela bazıları diyor ki ülke sakin ülkedir. Diğerleri diyor ki güzel görülmeli yerler var. Ve Azerbaycan'da 2015'te 2 devalüasyon oldu. Bu da bir fırsat oldu. Ülke olarak biz artık turizme açığıydık. Çünkü bundan önce devletin altyapı projelerinde uğurlu faaliyetleri ve katkılarından dolayı ona getirdi ki Avrovizyonun yapılması, 1. Avrupa oyunlarının yapılması, 2. İslam devletlerinin, sonra UEFA kupası ve bu ardından bir imaj oluşturdu. Ve düşünürüm burada klasterleşme meselesi çok önemlidir. Yani bazen biz başka bir ülkelerde fuarlara gidiyoruz ve orada biz kendi kendimizle bir haksız rekabete de girebiliriz. Ama dünyada bir M.I.C.E pastası var. Ben her zaman diyorum başka bir alanlarda da bunu kullanıyoruz. Biz gelin o pastadan maksimum alaq Türkiye'ye getirek veya Azerbaycan'a getirek, sonra onun paylanmasını da biz biliyoruz ve bu yanaşma çok doğru olmalıdır. Ve burada haksız demping amilleri var, mesela faktörler var. Bu da M.I.C.E engelleyen amillerden biridir ve biz yola nasıl çıktık? Mesela düşünüyorum ki M.I.C.E segmentinde bazı şeyleri mix etmek lazım, yani karıştırmak lazım. Yani geçmişin dersleri var, onu iyi öğrenerek. Mesela müze bir bakış bir yeridir, ancak müzede biz kongrede yapabiliriz. Mesela Macaristan'da olanda bir tren istasyonunda güzel bir etkinliğe katıldık. Mesela sonra Florence'de farklı bir işe katıldık. Yani bunu karıştırarak bir de hayat onu talep edir ki, yani yaşamımız. Post-pandemini beklemek lazım değil. Bu günləri biz bu işlerimizi yapmasak, post-pandemi devrinde de bizim trenimiz gitmiş sayılabilir ve artık bu bir gerçektir ki insanlar daha çok ekoloji temasları çok atmak istiyorlar. Ormanlarda, güzel bir yerlerde bu toplantıları vesaire yapmak istiyorlar. Ve burada mesela Türkiye tecrübesinde onu diyeyim ki mesela çok etkinlikler yapıldı ve ülkede olan problemler veyahut da pandemiden sonraki çıktığımız devirlerde devletin bu işte vereceği destekler əvəzsizdir. Biz ne yaptık? Biz bütün bölgelerimizde bir kültür başkentleri yaptık. Mesela Əsatirlər başkenti veyahut o sanatçılar başkenti veyahut veya diğer mesela o başka ülkelerin turizmçilerine hitap etmek istiyorsansa hansısa bir etkinliği ortak tarihleri devreye salmak lazım ve burada bilim adamlarının da burada olması lazım. Mesela Alexander Dumas Kafkas'da olmuş. Ne yapmış? Gelmiş, gurman olmuş ve bu Fransızlara hitap olunan yönelik bir her hansı bir etkinlikti. Burada ister festival olabilir, ister ne. Mesela Azerbaycan'da Alman meskenleri var idi. 19. əsrin əvvəllərində büyük bir kolonya, bir köç olmuş. Kendileriyle büyük bir medeniyet de getirmişler Azerbaycan'a. Batı bölgemizde şarapçılığın, diğer evlerin ve bu da bir tarihtir, bir uydurma bir tarih değil. Yani bu bir gerçektir. Yani sen Almanı başka bir türlü bu etkinliğe davet edelim. Mesela Polonyalıların bir izi var. Mesela arkitektorlar gelmiş. 1. petrol bumundan sonra Azerbaycan'da çok büyük bir demek buildingler yapmışlar. Ben de bilsem ki New York'ta bir Azerbaycanlı büyük 8 tane ev yapmış, kururla gidip onun karşısında durup bir resim de yaparım. Konu çok büyük bir konudur ve ben bu günləri değerli meslektaşlarımdan da çok böyle enteresan bir belə yaklaşımlar və fikirləri aldım və düşünürəm ki, bu faktorların olması hər bir ülkə dünya turizm havuzuna bir təcrübə oluşturur və bu toplamda bir dünyanın bir global olarak bir yaklaşımını, bir stratejisini beyan edir. Ve şimdilik bu kadar. Yani gerçekten de bu günləri Azerbaycan, eskiden mesela Londra'da biz Azerbaycan diyorduk, kimse tanımıyordu. Tanzanya'nı herkes tanıyordu. Mesela biz üzülüyorduk. Yani bu dövizin yarattığı imkanlar, devletin dəstəyi, siyasi istiqrar ve iradenin olması ve tabii ki toplumun da bu işe hazır olması, haksız rəqabətə yok deməmiz pandemiye kadar Azerbaycan'ı çok iyi bir destinasyonlar içerisinde öne çıkarttı. Teşekkür ederim.
Teşekkürler. Thank you very much. So there is another topic on the agenda that it is discussed very often, the vaccine travel passport and the possible effects and the possible discrimination it may cause or imbalance it may cause around the world during the travels. So from your individual and organizational perspectives, how do you evaluate this progress? So these vaccine passports, it handicaps traveling or joining handicapping the people joining in these kinds of events. So what is going on, do you think, in this sense? So maybe we can start.
Can you just repeat the question once again? Can you just throw some light on the question, please? I'm sorry.
Repeat my question?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So these days we are discussing on the vaccine travel passport. So people are getting vaccinated or not, so it also affects our travel periods.
Absolutely.
So here it is discussed that it also causes some discussions that a kind of discrimination among the travelers. So also it affects, indirectly, it affects our choices, our organizational events and etc. So if people cannot travel, cannot join the activities, cannot join the tourism activities as well. So if this kind of passport is confirmed, then what do you think? What will happen about the event sector?
Word can't be same forever. And we have to be open with whatever is happening around. And I believe, I see a message couple of days back that Thailand is opening Phuket for people who gets vaccinated. So it opens from 1st July for anybody who is vaccinated can visit to Thailand with the vaccination certificate from their respective government. And of course, with RT-PCR test done. What is the way forward? Do we have any opportunity? I still believe at least the world is opening up. Yes, there is a discrimination.
So, you know, some countries do not accept some vaccines, so they just would like to people have their own vaccinations. So that's the problem. Indeed.
Another point of view on this is, I believe if we have rules like this that if you are vaccinated, you get to travel, that would encourage people to take vaccines. If you look at the world data, if I talk about my country, 40% people are not getting their vaccination done, or 30% people are not getting their vaccination done even when it is their turn to get vaccinated. They don't have confidence in the vaccines. If tomorrow, if the rules like this happen, that if you are not vaccinated, you don't get to attend a meeting or you don't get to visit a country, I believe they'll get motivated to get the vaccination done. That's another point of view. And even if you look at the global figures, let it be United States or anywhere where the vaccination is happening in full swing, 100% people are not getting vaccinated.
Sure.
And it is for the safety of people. It is for safety of everyone. I believe, yeah, there is discrimination, but I believe way forward, the only way is get yourself vaccinated, stay safe, and make world a safer place.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for your comments. Mr. Guliev, just let me ask my question in Turkish, so please wear your headphones.
Buyurun.
Azerbaycan bu konuda özellikle sizin bireysel ve Azerbaycan'ın ülke olarak bu konudaki etkinliklere bu durumun etkisi açısından bir bakış açısı var mı?
Bir daha tekrar edin sorunu.
Özellikle bu aşı pasaportu ile ilgili olarak Azerbaycan'ın
Aşı.
ülke olarak evet bu konuda bir bakış açısı var mı? Çünkü ülkelerdeki etkinlikleri ve etkileşimi de etkileyecek gibi gözüküyor. Negatif bir karar çıkarsa yani.
Şimdi ilk günlerden başlayarak yani Azerbaycan bir örnek ülkeler sırasında oldu ve biz yani hem vaka sayısına göre hem onun dinamikasına göre biz bazı ülkelerden daha ilerideydi. Maalesef son dönemlerde de biraz artım oldu ve biz ümumilikte düşünüyoruz ki bu sene bir stabillik yılı olabilir. Yani aşıların bu yapılmasına ilgili. Yani odaklanmamız her bir halde maalesef 22. yıla düşünülür ve bazı ülkelerle bir ortak tehlikesiz koridorlar projesinin oluşturulmasına büyük bir ihtiyaç var. Ve düşünüyoruz ki, öngörü budur ki yani bu ilk olarak Türkiye ve bu işin içinde Gürcistan da olabilir. Ve Baku-Tbilisi-Kars demiryolu hattının da bu meselede devreye girmesi çok bizim için bir üstünlük yaratabilir. Ve Azerbaycan aynı zamanda başka ülkelere de yardım eden ülkeler içerisinde yer almaktadır. Ve devletin de belli bir bu işten ilgili politikası var ve 2 milyardın üzerinde komple iş adamlarına destek paketleri çıkarttı ve tabii ki ekonomi ne kadar önemlidirse insan faktörü de bir o kadar ve lockdownlarda son 3-4 ay ərzində kademeli şekilde yapılıyor ve tabii ki sektörün diğer temsilcileri de ve diğer sahaları da etkilemesine rağmen devlet yine de o destek paketlerini devam ettiriyor. Ve yine de söylüyorum ki yani bugün Türkiye'nin Azerbaycan arasında preferensiyel gümrük deməli tatbikatının yapılması aynı zamanda bu kimlik meselesinde en azından iki ülke için çok büyük bir pazar, turizm pazarı açısından çok önemlidir.
Teşekkürler.
Yani kısaca bu kadar.
Teşekkürler. Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Hüseyin
Yeah.
Kurt.
With your question, I can say maybe there are 3 problems. First, vaccination. Second one is vaccination passport. And the third one is perception. Maybe I can first, for third. Perception is, I think, biggest problem. We need to change perception of organizer and decision makers. And second one is vaccination passport. Vaccination passport is a very biggest problem also for everybody, and of course for business travelers. And if you don't have vaccination passport, you cannot go some countries next times. And the first problem is, of course, vaccination.
Here some countries refuse to let people go in their countries if they are not get vaccinated by certain.
Yeah, because of course, and also
So
there will be
that's-
restriction for
Yeah.
if you don't have. And the first problem is, of course, and the very biggest problem, vaccination. Vaccination should be progressed all over the world. And airspaces also should open. And after that, then M.I.C.E can proceed. And I think the biggest problem, vaccination, not vaccination passport.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much
You're
for your
welcome.
comments, Mr.
Well, in terms of vaccination, before I start this vaccination issue, well, I agree with Mr. Ruslan that M.I.C.E is a very big value added to tourism industry. I think is number one. In terms of Istanbul hoteliers' perspective, when we lose my sector organization and also cruise tourism, when we shut down our port, that is really the value added of tourism is really get very, very low. And so it's increasing our profit, is increasing dynamism of the tourism sector, MICE, is very important. Now, vaccination, I agree with Hussein, there is a three problem. First of all, I think vaccine passport is against World Human Rights Organization. Because you can, if you offer the people a decent number of vaccine, and if they reject it, then you can force them vaccinate, or I don't expect you to my country. That, okay, you have right, but nobody get enough or decent number of vaccine in their country.
Yeah.
That you cannot say people that first you need to be vaccinated. So give me
100 countries
vaccine.
haven't got a vaccine.
Yeah, yeah. And on the other hand, some countries like United Arab Emirates and now Russia started a kind of vaccine tourism. That if you travel there and they're making some cultural tours and make your vaccine, but the problem is most of the vaccine is 2 doses. So you need to travel 2 times in 1 month.
Yes.
So, well, it's very complicated things.
Okay.
Now, I think the world should behave like a human, and the modern countries or rich countries should supply World Health Organization a decent number of vaccine, because this pandemic will not get erased from the world if you get vaccinated the 70% of the world population. Therefore, I think tourism, what is tourism is a relation of the people. So I think the countries should think their rights. So that's it.
Okay, thank you very much for your comments. And I would like to thank my guests here for their comments and their valuable experience sharing. So maybe we can have some questions from the listeners, from the audience. Please.
Thank you. Mənim sualım Ruslan bəyədir. Biz Azərbaycan nümayəndə heyəti kimi gəlmişik və bizə tez-tez suallar verilir Qarabağ destinasiyası haqqında, yeni destinasiya kimi. Mən çox xahiş edərdim ki, Azərbaycan dövlətinin planları və Qarabağın yeni turizm destinasiyası barədə bir az da olsa məlumat verəsiniz ki, sərgi iştirakçıları da bu barədə məlumatlı olsunlar. Minnətdarım. Thank you. My question is about for new destination Karabağ. Thank you.
Teşekkür ediyorum. Bildiğiniz gibi yani bu Azerbaycan'ın Karabağ bölgesi Sovyet döneminde de çok büyük bir destinasyon olarak postsosyalist ve Sovyet mekanında ve biz bunun geçmiş o popülerliğini geri döndürmek için elimizde gelen o devlet desteklerinden yararlanıyoruz ve diye söyleyebiliriz ki orada sağlık turizmi, diğer bütün tiplerini orada biz geliştirmek için büyük bir iş yapabilir ve bu sahada da Türkiye'li turizmçilerle de büyük bir yatırım deməli meselelerinde bir araya gelmişiz ve növbətdə bizim görüşlerimizde hem DEİK hem Azerbaycan İş Adamları Birliği ile üzümüze gelen devirde bir Karabağ'ı bir ziyaret edeceğiz. Çok sağ olun, teşekkür ederim.
Thank you very much. We have just 1 minute, so any other questions or any comments from the audience? No? Okay, so we are just ending our panel session, and once more, thank you for being here with us, and thank you, the speakers joining us today. So I hope it has become very useful for all of us for opening some new windows and new hopes for the future. Thank you.
Awfully sorry.
I'm sorry.
Let me invite to here my best friend Murtaza Kalender. On behalf of Azerbaijan team, we have some present for Turkish team.
Okay.
Bir hediyemiz
Yeah,
var.
thank you.
So we can do that.